Streaming. Okay. I am hopefully on the internet. Let's see if that is the case. I appear to be on the internet. Okay. Cool. Right. Hello everybody. Welcome to my first Assetto Corsa stream. I haven't done any streams of this game, which is weird, because I should have. AC is my sim. This is the game that I play the most. So why would I not stream it? Well, today we're going to change that. Today we are streaming it, as you can see. Today we have a simple goal, and that simple goal is to beat that lap time. A 1 minute 24.386 around Zandvoort. That was the Formula 3 pole lap time this year. And I am in the wrong setting for Assetto Corsa. Excellent. Let me restart the game. I used to do a lot of racing in the Formula 3 car. It is one of my favourite cars in Assetto Corsa. This is the RSS F3 car, by the way. The RSS Formula RSS 3V6, which is what it's called. It's a Formula 3 car. So it's kind of my favourite car. It's kind of what I've done a lot of driving in. I haven't driven it in a long time. I'm going to get the racing driver excuses in as early as possible. I haven't driven it in a long time. This is going to be my first like proper of trying to hit a lap time in a long time. And it's been even longer since I last raced the car. So I'm going to be rusty. This car can be quite a handful. One thing to note about it is that it likes to be run really, really low to the ground. And so as a result, you can get into all kinds of fun situations where the car is bottoming out horrendously, especially on curbs. Some of which, you may know, around Zandvoort, you kind of want to run on the curbs because they're kind of useful. Right. There are some things that I'm going to need to do for the stream, if you will just bear with me. And they mainly revolve around the fact that Assetto Corsa is a little bit weird in VR. So let me just crop out the corners of our view there. There we go, that's better. That'll do. So you should be able to now see pretty much, yeah, by the looks of it, pretty much what I see without any weird corners on it. That's okay. That'll do. So yes, as I said, this is a mod by Race Sim Studio, RSS. I think it's one of their best cars. It's also free, which not many of their cars are. And this was, I believe, the only time that they've released a mod and it's been free immediately. Usually they make paid for content, which is more than fair enough because their mods are incredible. They're the guys that make the Formula Hybrid. They also make like the GT pack, the old GT1 cars. They've made a NASCAR. They've made an Indy car. They have made all kinds of things that are, for want of a better term, cool as hell. And so the Formula 3 car here is one of many, but this one's free. It's also great because it's an F3 car, and who doesn't love an F3 car? Okay, so first thing that I need to do is I need to pick a setup to start from. As I mentioned, I've driven a lot of this game, and therefore I have quite a few setups. So, what do we think is going to be appropriate? Like, clearly Monza is not the setup for Zandvoort, is it? Okayama would be alright, but it's a bit of an old setup. Most sport might be good. Most sport might be very good. Is that's a race setup? I'm assuming that is a quali setup. This has got the halo on it. I'm going to go down to the soft tyres though. And I'm also going to put a little bit more fuel into the car because I'm going to need to do some practice. Right, it's got big downforce. This will be fine to start with. Let's see what we can do. So a few things to note. I'm using our server. As you can see, I have actually driven this car around this track before, but only on a controller. So we'll see what we can do today. The lap time there, 124.958 is the fastest that anybody in AC has gone around this track, according to this version of this mod of this track in AC, according to RSR live timings. We're trying to beat that lap time though. That lap time. 124.386 is what we're looking for. Yeah, a few things to note. So I'm running on our Emperor Servers server, which has some wonderful features which you can use, such as live weather. So what I've done is I've used a 4-hour offset, so I've gone back 4 hours in time, and I've set the temperature, I've set the weather to essentially be real, live, historical weather data from Zandvoort 4 hours ago. So this is exactly what the weather was 4 hours ago, which is a little bit later than the F3 race was, and obviously they did qualifying on Friday, I want to say. So it's perhaps slightly different, but it's near enough. It's near enough. I wanted it to be vaguely realistic, and I couldn't be bothered doing research myself, so I set it automatically. I've also enabled the manual pit limiter, so I mustn't forget to do that. Right, let's hop into the car. Now, that's too quiet. I can tell that already, so I think the reason is because I was driving with a friend the other day and I couldn't hear myself think. So we're going to go up to... That's a bit more appropriate. Right. As usual, in VR, I can actually see your chat. Supposedly, it should show up over there. So if you are in chat, feel free to message me, and I should see you in Sim over on my left-hand side, which is extra helpful that it's on the left-hand side, because this is a clockwise rather circuit, and yeah, that just makes things a little bit easier, doesn't it? Right, if you bear with me, I'm just going to share the stream. Here. Hello, anybody that is watching, welcome. I'm going to start driving momentarily. Just bear with me for one moment. Sorry guys, bear with. Bear with. Okay, right, done. Gloves back on. So, the aim today is to beat that lap time, and if I can beat it, to then try and go as quickly as possible. And if I can't beat it, to at least get vaguely close. So let's see what we can do. First thing to note is I bet these tyre pressures are going to be wrong. But I think...
Exit, you can push now.
I think what I need to do is just get used to the car. I also need to figure out if the ride height is too low. So this is the setup that I was using at Most Sport last, which is also quite an undulating circuit. Oh yeah, it's definitely too low. I don't know whether you can hear the car bottoming out there as I go over the bump through the entry to turn 3, but is it turn 3? Or is it turn 4? Whatever turn it is. Oh yeah. That's bottoming out a lot. So I think first thing we're going to need to do is fix that. Also, check out those tyre temperatures. My God. So we are going to need to do some serious, cautious driving in terms of heating up the brakes, heating up the core of the tyre, getting the tyre pressures up before we can actually push so that we don't overheat those surface temperatures. Right, I'm going to open a lap. Because I know that the car's bottoming out way too much, but I want to see how terrible that truly is. I've just noticed that the DRS zone is in the wrong place. Which is interesting. Oh, I should probably fix that. Yeah, that's where I was worried about the car bombing out. I don't know whether you noticed in Formula 1 this weekend, but the Red Bull was bottoming out quite badly over that curb as Max was being quite aggressive, so it's not unique to this car in sim, but it certainly is an issue. I'm being very cautious because I'm very aware of that bright red tyre graph to my right. And I can certainly feel it on the front tyres in terms of some understeer that I'm getting. So, little lock up then. Yeah, so far, I will say that this setup feels quite conservative, if anything. It doesn't feel quite as spicy as I thought it might, considering those tyre temperatures and how low it is running.
That lap time was 127.3. Sector 3 is a tenth off your best.
We are already a long way off. Especially because... Oh my lord. See, that's the problem. Okay, so we have a few things to do. I think the first thing is to raise the ride height. We are too low. So, I think first thing to do would be... Where are we? What's our ride height looking like? 40 and 23. I mean, we're low, but we're not that low. I think we can probably reduce some travel, especially on the front. I'm going to bring the travel down, and I'm going to bring the ride height just up a few clicks, go up to 90 on the front, 80 on the rear maybe. What's that bring us to? It's a decent brake. I'm going to leave the bump stop. Actually, I might... No, I'll leave the bump stops on the rear as they are. So that's decent. What else did I want to do? I wanted to... Oh, I need to check tyre pressures. I'll do that. I think I might take a bit of front roll bar out of the car, make it a little bit pointier at the low speed, and take some coast out, because that is a lot of coast. Down to 35 and take the preload down to 30 as well. Just get a bit more rotation on the entry. And then I might push the brake bias forwards a click and see. Actually, I'll fiddle with that in the game. I'll leave that as 55. I'll fiddle with that in a moment. I'm going to leave the aero for now. I suspect I might want to reduce some rear wing. What was my top speed? Top speed was 273, and my gearing goes up to 270. So I probably want a bit more gearing as well. What we got? We got plus 40, plus 40, plus 40, plus 40, plus 40. If I go up, oh, that's way too much. Right. So we're going to need to slightly expand this up. here, I think. Yeah, that's probably better. Yes. Yes. Better gearing just for the top speed. We are using DRS. I can save this on Zandvoort as setup number 1. Right. Let's go back out. Make sure we turn on the pit limiter. Where is the pit limiter line? It's there.
Clear.
We actually start really close to the pit limiter line, so that's quite useful. Yeah, the brakes are frosty cold when you come out of the brakes. Or when you come out of the pits, rather. Right, so immediately, other than the fact that that was awful, immediately I can say through the first sector it felt a little bit less slammed on the deck, which is nice. Seems like it was the front edge of the floor that was hitting the ground rather than the rear, so that's good to know. I might need to give it a bit more rear suspension travel, because that bump back there, that's going to be a problem. I can tell that is going to be a problem. That's only going to be one downshift. You can take a lot of speed through that corner. Okay, now we're oversteering a bit too much. Maybe that bar should not have come down like it did. Because I've taken the diff out, we're getting a bit more rotation, and I think the front anti-roll bar is just taking that a little bit further than we want it to. I can also brake a lot deeper into there, although I didn't use DRS that lap. So maybe when I'm using DRS, we are going to want to brake at about that point. Right, I'm not going to use DRS all the way back there. I'm going to use DRS from the DRS board. Because I don't know why the DRS zone is set to use the whole banking. That seems excessive. Well, that was the 100 board. The 100 board felt decent for the braking zone there. Still having to be a little bit cautious on entry to that corner for both bumps. And then on exit, that's sketchy. That is sketchy. How are the tyre pressures looking? I mean, other than obviously the surface temperatures are roasting hot.
Sector 1 time's okay.
What are the pressures looking for? The pressures don't look too bad. Check them when we go on the banking. One thing that's very interesting about Zandvoort is that it's not quite as one-sided on tyre temperatures as you'd think, considering how fast the right-hand corners tend to be. Because you've got a lot of kind of weird understeery left-hand corners. But especially in terms of surface temperature, tend to kind of bring up your temps more than you think. Right. On the DRS, what are my pressures looking like? Too high in the front left. But everywhere else, okay. I think we're going to go down on...
Sector 3 time is quick.
Okay, that's too late into that. I think we're going to need to go down a PSI in the front left there. Okay, you can get on the power nice and early through there. The car actually doesn't feel too upset on power. I can carry so much more speed through there. I'm being so conservative. Need to be much more aggressive with the car. Oh god. But also be careful on downshifts. At the moment I'm just trying to get a feel for the car. Get used to it again. Because it has been a while.
Sector 2 time is okay.
Roasting hot tyres still. Okay, you need to brake more than that through there. I
Okay, Joe,
think
you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
that is going to be a downshift through there. Let's go back and let's just rethink some of these things. We did get down to a 126.5, although RSR did not register it, but we'll ignore that. So we got down to a 26.5. So we're still like 2 seconds off the pace, but considering that I was being pretty cautious, that's fine, that's okay. Right, we're going down on a pressure on there to 11. We've got 11 on the left, 12s on the right. That's okay. Still running a lot of fuel as well, so that's going to be slowing us down. I'm thinking I can take off a click of rear wing. We're on max front wing at the moment. Super max front wing. So I'm going to leave the diff because it felt better. I think we might... Why have we got uneven camber? Is this because I was running at Mosport and that track is weird? I think so. I'm going to change that. We can leave it as even and then we can figure that out later. The banking might make us want to use a bit of uneven camber, but to be honest, those bank turns are not where we're suffering in terms of grip, right? Especially the last corner, it's perfectly fine. Next, the suspension. How were we? It definitely felt like I wanted more rear suspension travel. That being said, in the high speed, it was okay. It just felt like I didn't have enough travel. So what if I increase the amount of travel? If I take that up like a lot, I'm going to take that up to like 15, then stiffen up the actual rear springs. Maybe that will help. Keep the bump. Keep the rear ARB. I don't know about dampers just yet. We've only got one setting for the dampers. We don't have fast and slow damping. Ugh. So I don't know if I'm going to want to change anything. Yeah, for now, let's see what this is like. Go back out and just be careful of warm-up again.
Clear on pit exit.
I don't even need to bother with the pit label there, do I? Because I'm so close to the end, I don't really get to 80 kph by the time I get to the exit of the pit lane. Right, I'm just going to ride the brake a bit and warm up the brakes, sorry. Right, I felt a little bit of bottoming at the rear then, or heard a little bit of bottoming at the rear when I went over that bump. So that's something to be monitored. Yeah, we seem to be bottoming now more than we were. Okay.
Okay, Joe, we need to watch these track limits.
That's just bad driving. I'm just being overly cautious. Okay, let's push a little bit, get some heat into the tyres. I know it says that we've got plenty of heat in the tyres, but what I mean is pressure into the tyres. Because at the moment, they are very low. Well, that's a bad run through there, but it's fine. What top speed are we hitting? Well, that final gear is really short, isn't it? Seems like the 100 board is the point. Currently having to be very late on the throttle through there. And it's still cautious on the entry just because of that bump. I don't know how realistic that bump is. It feels a little bit too much, to be honest. Doesn't seem like the sort of thing that they would allow, especially after a newly resurfaced and redesigned track like Zandvoort. Okay. Still getting some locking at the front. I think something to check on in a minute, I'm not going to check it now, is maybe the tyre surface Ooh, that was a bad one. Tyre surface temperature spread. Inside to outside. See if the camber is too much at the moment. You want a nice even spread across the tyres. You don't want it to... you don't want it to be too hot in the middle or too hot on the outside.
126.
26 again.
Sector 3 is 0.6 off your best.
I'm not surprised that we lost 0.6 in the last sector after that terrible lockup. After the second DRS zone. Okay. That is a problem.
Track limits, this lap will be deleted.
So that that bump on the entry there, that is an issue. Try and think what I can do about that. I might be able to do something with the dampers in order to try and soften that out. I don't really mind what it's doing to the front, it's when the rear hits it. Like the front tyres go over it, and the car just kind of deals with it.
You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
As soon as the rears hit that bump though, it gets very upset. Yeah, you can see on the tyre marks on the tarmac back there where I locked up into that corner before. Really hard to carry a lot of speed into that last corner, that second to last corner rather, without going wide onto that curb on the exit. Not too bad through T1. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I think that might be that stiffer rear suspension. I think it might be too stiff there. Yeah. Right, okay, let's do something about that. I said it was bottoming a bit too much, didn't I? So I'm going to take the rear travel down a bit. I think there's a happy medium there. I'm going to take the rear suspension back down. I'm going to leave the dampers as they were because I'm softening the springs off, so that might help with that bump a little bit. In terms of some of the understeer I'm feeling though, do I want to take off front spring rate? I could try it. I'm not sure I want to take off much more front bar. So I'm going to try a click of front spring rate coming off. Let me think about this for a second. I need more bite. It's not really mid-corner, it really is like bite at the start. Yeah, spring rate seems like the way to go. Again, dampers, leaving them alone. I don't know about camber yet. I haven't thought about it. Diff, I'll leave it. Could maybe do... I'll think about it. I'll think about it. To be honest, that was still fine on the aero. I might go down to 18. It's turn 7, that long right-hander. That's probably where I'm going to be the most rear limited in terms of the aero. And maybe turn 8 as well. Turn 7, turn 8 is where I want to be careful with reducing that rear wing. I am going to gain time all the way down the main straight by reducing the rear wing. But it's going to be very easy to make the car really upset here, especially if I hit the dirt like I did there. Still bottoming a lot. Is it bottoming on the front or the rear though? That's the question. Right. Didn't carry nearly enough speed into that second to left corner that time, but shouldn't lose us that much time. So let's see how this car feels now. Feels a little bit less reluctant to turn in now, which is nice. Too wide. Too wide.
Okay, Joe, we need to watch the track limits.
To be honest, I was hesitant there and I didn't need to be. I felt like the rear might let go like it did in the previous lap, and there was no reason for me to think that. It was actually fine. I felt glued to the road, but I like hesitated because of the previous lap. Sometimes you just need to send it. Sometimes you get a little bit worried, oh, I don't know whether I've got the grip to do this. And that was one of those times when I really should have just sent it. Let's have another hot lap. Don't get on that curb. What am I doing? What am I doing? I suppose that proves that the softer front springs help the bike though. Now I've got ridiculously hot rear left tyre. Where are we? 130 something degrees for a second there. It's cooling down a bit already, but that was absurd. Let's see how I can send it into here, even with a hot rear tyre.
Sector 1 is 2.8 seconds, slower than your best.
That needs to be fourth. I need to straighten the car earlier there, or brake more gently.
Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Really third gear, okay. What the pressure look like? Still 19s on the left, although I did have a big slide, didn't I? Which probably isn't helping. Right. Overpressured left tyres.
Sector 3 is a tenth off your best.
Did it again. I hesitated. You've got to really send it into that corner. Getting the line right is difficult, and then when you're slightly offline, trying to adjust feels sketchy. It's because of that banking. Like, it's really unusual to be driving corners that are that banked in a car like this. So it just feels all kinds of wrong. That was not good through the middle sector there. I got a lot of understeer.
That's 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes.
The worst last corner I've ever seen in my life. Felt okay.
That lap was
It was mediocre.
26.5. You're less than a tenth off your best.
Yeah. Well, well, well. Oversteer again. I mean, I was up. I was up on that lap. What went wrong there? The question, what went wrong? Well, I mean, a lot of things went wrong. But what has happened here? Is that's fine. Then just checking something on OBS. Yeah, we're good. Right. Yeah. Okay. Still think we've got rear wing to take out the car. I think that's fine. I'm thinking though that we might actually want more locking on the power, the diff power. I'm going to leave the alignment as is for now. The ride height, I think the rear ride height might still be too low. Go up significantly. And and I'm going to reduce the rear rebound and see if that makes it so that when I get on that curve, the rear tyre keeps a bit more contact. Because that might be part of the issue. I'm bumping over it and the tyres are losing contact because the rebound's too stiff. Alternatively, it could be doing exactly the opposite. And to be honest, it's hard to know without looking at Motec, but I refuse to do that at this stage. When I'm still so uncomfortable with the car, I'm not going to log onto Motec and check. Car will suffer a tick less of brake bias. Take it back to 54.5. Well, it does into there, but we'll see what it's like in some of the bendier braking zones. This might be the sort of track where I have to change the brake bias throughout the lap. Which is not ideal, but what are you going to do? Not good. Yeah, no. Yeah, the rake has not helped that situation. The rake has not helped. We're going to go back to 80 on the rear ride height. What if I go back down on the spring rate? Is that going to hurt me on corner exit? I mean, there's only one way to find out. Go back down on the spring rate. Feel like leave the dampers for now. And
all right, Joe, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
Let's just see. Let's just see how it drives.
Pit exit looks clear.
that bump up at the top of the hill there keeps catching me out. Because it kicks me out wide and then I get scared. Gears down lower a little bit. Wrong. I don't know how much I can change that though, because they change by quite big steps in the lower gears. So even if I do want to improve that, I don't know whether I can. Bad turn one. Went too deep, missed the apex entirely. Does not like that curve. Does not like it.
Sector 1 is 2/10 off your best.
Hence the 2/10. And a lock up and understeer. So far, I'm feeling almightily slow.
Sector 2 is 0.5 off your best.
Pressure seems to be up.
26.6. You're now 0.2 off your best.
Better through turn one. Better through there. Can get on the throttle a little bit earlier there. That was nicer.
Sector 1 time is good. Okay, Joe. 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Too much sliding. Too much locking. Again, the gears there,
Sector 2 is 0.3, slower than your best.
in between gears in that middle sector and it's really hurting me.
That lap time was
It's fastest so far.
126.1. That's your best lap in this session.
Why did... Ugh. That was just me being bad.
Okay, Joe, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
The car feels very strange through that corner. And so it just gives me zero confidence to get on the throttle. Even when actually it's quite grippy. I just need to have more trust. Through there. No. That was bad. Bad, 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 bad. Again, that bump really unsettles the car.
Sector 1 is 0.5 off your best.
Of course it is. Right. I feel like we're right on the limit in terms of aero balance, but I'm gonna be bold. And I'm gonna say, you know what? 16 on the rear wing. Why not? Let's see what happens. I'm also thinking that we're going to bring that down, the diff power down a little bit, just because it didn't feel too amazing. And also, I don't want to mess with alignment just yet. I'm still not sure on this rear travel. I might have a look at some Motec in a bit, but not just yet. Not just yet. I need to know dampers, I need to know ride heights, I need to know alignment. At the moment, I'm not sure. I could look at the temperatures, though. I should probably do that. Where do we get to? We got to a 126.1, which puts me within 2 seconds. We're like 1.8 seconds away. So,
Pit exit's clear.
we're getting there. Still don't know quite how to take that corner in terms of lines. Still a little bit confused. All kinds of bad. I don't want to be on that curb on the entry there. I think you might be able to take that in a GT3 car. But you definitely can't take it in a Formula 3 car. This thing does not like that curb at all, not one bit. Okay, I've just lost audio in my left ear. I'm gonna guess that that is my index being weird. Happened the other day as well. It's okay. It's definitely okay. But I would not ever call it any better than okay.
Okay, Joe, 5 minutes to go.
Definitely some movement on the rear on the entry there. But not good. Still bad through that slow section in the middle. There's a lot of time to be gained there, but I will say that this aero balance feels better. It just wants to turn in more.
That was a 125.9. Sector 3 time is fast.
That's what I mean about the car wanting to turn in more. Don't know how that was. Felt okay.
Sector 1 is a tenth off your pace. 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Slow. Very slow. Bob understeer.
Sector 2 is a tenth off your best.
Ooh, terrible, 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 terrible. But I can be much more aggressive on the power there. Yeah. And the last sector there was horrendous.
That last lap was a 126.3. Sector 3 is 2 tenths off your best.
And that was all kinds of awful because I missed the gear shift. Right. I want to make the rear stiffer in terms of reducing the travel range a bit more. I want to do that on the travel range. And that way, in higher speeds, it feels a bit better. I'm also going to take some fuel out because I don't feel like we're doing more than about 5 laps at a time, are we? And I'm going to save my progress because we've definitely improved the car.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Session's about to restart, but
Your exit's clear. Watch the white line.
it's fine. Is that worth doing? That's not what they're doing in real life. That feels better. Feels like the rear bump stop is actually engaging now at high speed. That feels okay. We might be getting somewhere here. Especially carrying speed through there. Now we're getting somewhere. Car is feeling tight. It is feeling responsive. Should have gone down to second. Bog's a bit in third. It's bad.
That's the end of the session, P1.
Bad, bad, bad. All bad. All bad. I think I was maybe too fast on the outlet there. Overheated my tyres. But never mind. That was poor. But not the worst thing in the world. I think I'm going to get Motec up. See what Motec says. Because you never know. It might say something that makes me go, ah. Or it might tell me nothing useful. Which is entirely possible. Right, where are we? Motec. I will have to add this to the stream. Do we want a window capture? Window capture. I want to put that like there. That seems okay. Cool. Motec. I know it's going to be really small and illegible for you. That's because my screen is 4K. So this is... I apologize. That's all I can say. I apologize. Let's open up the log file though and find out what's going on. What on earth is that track called? Is it just called Zandvoort 2020? I sure do hope it is. Zandvoort 2020, yes, it is. And in the Formula 3 V6, and my best lap was a 25.8. Open that up. Oh my! Oh my, those dampers are something else. So, for those of you not familiar with telemetry, what that means is the dampers be too stiff. Because that is too sharp. It wants to be a nice sort of, a nice peak. It wants to peak, sure, but it doesn't want to be a spike like that. Essentially what that means is I will say that the dampers are symmetrical, both on the front and the rear, which is nice. So I've got the balance between bump and rebound approximately okay, but they are way too stiff. Because in the middle here, we've got the low speed, and on the outside, we've got the high speed. This is millimeters per second, so this is the amount of movement. If all of our travel is really, really slow, and none of it is fast, that kind of implies car's a bit overdamped. This is a bit too much, because we're just getting harsh jolts, and then it's recovering too quickly. Or it's like dampening it out too quickly, makes the car too stiff, makes it a bit too skittish, which is about what I'm feeling. Ride heights, this is the other thing. So, in terms of ride heights, I am bottoming out on the front under braking. But am I bottoming out? Where's turn 7? This has to be turn 7, right? Turn 7. I am bottoming out again on braking into turn 7. So what this is telling me, I think, is I could do with a bit more stiffness on the front. Maybe a bit less travel, slightly less suspension travel. If the car's dipping that much, it's probably not great, especially under braking here. That's going to lose me a lot of performance. It's initial braking, and then it comes off the deck quite quickly, but still that's not great. What about the rear? So the rear is bottoming, that looks like a curb to me. Yeah. Is that a curb? Hit the brakes. Oh, maybe not. That's that bump. So we can see that we're bottoming there. When it's going all the way down to the bottom, that's it bottoming. It's doing that over that bump, which is understandable. But otherwise, we're okay. Now, if I fast forward to turn 7, when I hit the throttle, what is my rake? So on the front, we're at like 13.7. On the rear, we're on like 17.2. Compared to at top speed... Yeah, so at top speed, we're on the bump stops there, because you notice that at slightly lower speed and at slightly higher speed, the ride heights don't change. We haven't changed the amount of ride height though, which implies to me that we're on the bump stops. If I go to suspension travel instead, then we should see the same sort of thing. Yeah, so we're not really getting any more travel anywhere. This is going up the hill. We're getting a bit more. There, is that bump? That's probably that bump up at the top of the hill. And then we hit the brakes, we turn in. We're getting a spike of travel there. I think, though, we could go with a little bit lower ride height on the rear to be optimal. The problem is, we go back to ride height, we're getting that bump. We're getting that bottoming over that bump. Seems to be, we're bottoming there. We're bottoming at some point coming up the hill and at the top a little bit, coming again over that bump. Where's that? That's actually okay. We're managing to stay off the deck through turn 7. And ooh, that's like a lot though, isn't it? That is a bump. Or is that a curb on the outside? That might be a curb. Ah, do I hit the curb there slightly? In which case that's relatively okay. If I look at the travel though, is that a spike in travel? It is a spike in travel. Okay. So probably don't want to reduce the ride height by more than about 5 mil on the rear. But I could maybe try that. I think we need softer dampers as well. Right, next thing. Camber. What is my camber doing? Turn 7, rear camber. We're getting down to like minus 3.2. Which is a lot of camber on the rear. Right hand corner, rear left. A lot of camber. Yeah, that is a lot. It's a lot of camber. We have too much rear camber right now. Considerably too much. I'm going to take that down by a big chunk. So, if we now go back to the game, how I can translate that into the game. First of all, those dampers were all kinds of wrong, weren't they? I'm going to go down 2 on the front, 1, 2 on the rear, and see how that works. The next thing, we could take a bit of rear ride height out of the car, couldn't we? That's taken a bit out, and we wanted less travel on the front. I'm going to take that down to 6 mil. I don't know whether that's going to induce a bit of understeer, but we'll see. There's only one way to find out. The next thing was the alignment. The rear camber was way too much. So we're going to bring that all the way up from 3.5 to like 2. Because if we're getting, so if you think about the way that a car goes through a corner, we go through a left-hand corner. The left suspension compresses. Essentially, the car rolls over to the left as the suspension compresses. As the suspension on the left side compresses and the car rolls over, what should actually happen is the camber should reduce, which is happening on Motec. But on Motec, it's reducing down to like 3 and a bit degrees of negative camber, which is a lot of camber. So static camber, 3.5 degrees, might be not too ridiculous. But for that to be like mid-corner camber, that seems like way too much to me. It also was showing that we had about the same camber on the front as the rear. So the front might actually be fine. A lot of camber on the front is a bit more normal, but that much camber on the rear is not correct. What else did we learn from there? Was there anything else? I think that was it. It was mostly dampers travel and ride height, and then amber. Oh, no, the pressures are okay. Pressures are fine. Think we can hop back in. I'm gonna pop my gloves back on. Yeah, it's going okay so far. Relatively. Might take me a while to get up to. Might take me a while to get up to the pace that I want, but I think we might get there. Sorry, I'm checking my phone on stream. How terrible of me! Terrible. Pop the gloves back on. Getting serious. So we are still chasing that 24.3. My best time so far has been a 25 point something or other. 25.8 was it? Something like that. So I'm still a second and a half off. Which is a lot of lap time. That is a lot of lap time. But the aim at the moment is to get the setup in a place where I feel like I can push. If I feel like I can push, I can start being a bit more aggressive. One advantage of being in sim is, unlike in real life, I don't have fear of death or injury in any way. Am I lined up correctly in VR? I don't feel like I am. No, I'm not. I mean, that will help. There, that's better. Let's see what this is like. So, things that I predict could be wrong here. The rear ride height might be too low. The front bump stops might be too long, or rather the front travel might be too little. So I get high-speed understeer. Also, I don't know what the camber's going to do to the car. We're going to find out. It might be fantastic. So we definitely bottomed through that bump there. I could hear that time. So that's interesting. It doesn't feel too bad so far. I'm going to take that brake bias back a little bit because it was definitely better on 54.5, wasn't it? You can brake really deep into that corner with 54.5 brake pressure. Should be able to get the throttle a little bit earlier through there. A lot of bottoming through the banking. Scraping along through the floor. Perhaps a bit of understeer there. And that was bad. I think I'm too low on the rear.
Ignore the aero damage, it's nothing.
So the issue is, of course, when I reduce that rear ride height, like, sure, I might be engaging the rear aero a bit more, but to be honest, I'm just taking rake out of the car and kind of ruining the handling. I'm going to leave the front suspension though, and I'm going to even be brave and take another mil of travel out the rear, see what that does. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Let's just see. Let's just see. Back to 54.5.
Push, push, push. Alright, Joe. Very little fuel left. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap.
Okay, let's see what we have going for us. Seems definitely quite rotatey in the middle sector, which is nice.
We're running on fumes, mate. In this lap. Box this lap.
Still trying to experiment with my lines through that slow corner after the middle DRS zone. Just trying to figure out what the best line through that corner is. On the curb, it felt okay there. That was quite nice. It was a decent drive out there, but I've done better.
Sector 1 is quick.
Of course, it's going to be claiming that everything's quick now, because it's a new session, so I don't have any lap times set.
Sector 2 time is good.
Bad, 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 bad. Just terrible. All round awful lap. Okay. What's the temperature looking like on the rear? It's high, but you know.
126.1. Sector 3 is 2/10 off
I
your
was
best.
not paying attention. I was not paying attention. I'll hold my hand up and say that was me not paying attention. That's bad. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to take the wheel rates up on the rear. I genuinely think that that is the way forwards. And then maybe I do want the lower ride heights on the rear and longer suspension travel on the rear. I know that we've done this before, but now I've changed the dampers. And I just want to see
Looks like you're clear on the pit
how
exit.
that works. Now that I've changed some other things, if I can make this work. Because I honestly think the lack of suspension travel is just hurting us. I think it's just making the car too difficult to drive. Like on a circuit with this many bumps, like, sure you don't want the car to bottom out, but I honestly think the thing that is catching us out is I'm just hitting the bump stops and then just pure pain. Through this middle sector, I really want to be able to rotate the car easier. Like that. And I definitely don't want to be changing the diff. Oh, that was bad. That was bad.
That's barely a scratch, mate. Just ignore it.
Car feels quicker though. Car feels quicker if I can actually keep up with it.
You're all clear. Stay behind the line.
Okay. Okay, that was bad. Pushing too hard on the outlap again, hitting the inside curb, getting the big oversteer. Not a good approach. I might be able to keep the car in third there now. Ooh, that feels nice. Feels nice through that last corner now. I think this stiffer wheel rate might be the way to go. Bit slow through there, bit hesitant.
Sector 1 time is good.
Full front right lock. DRS. Don't forget DRS.
Your sector 2 time is quick. Okay, Joe, we estimate you've got
Still
5
slow
minutes of
through
fuel
that
remaining.
section. Okay, the car feels a lot more aggressive now, which is nice.
Your last lap time was 125.8. Sector 3 time's okay.
That was better through there. That was much better through there.
Sector 1 is 2/10 off your best.
2/10.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
I was oversteering. I lost a ton of time.
Sector 2 is a 10th off your best.
And I didn't use DRS. I don't think. Did I? Imagine forgetting to use DRS. Imagine if you were watching F1 qualify, Max Verstappen on a lap. He's purple in the first sector, and then he forgets DRS.
That puts you 0.2 off your best.
Okay.
Very little fuel left. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap.
DRS. We used it.
We're running on fumes, mate. Box this lap, please, Joe. Sector 2 time is okay.
Oh, I hit the curb. Why do I do this to myself? That left-hand curb. Every time. It feels like it comes out of nowhere sometimes. just appears on the track. But that was okay. That felt okay. Where do we get to? 25.8. That's the same as where I was before. But I feel like I can do more with the car. So that's nice. Funny thing is, we're actually lower on the rear ride height than we were before. Are we maybe too high on the front? If I do that, I do that, and I do that. At this stage, I'm just like kind of making changes vaguely off field. I'm going to reduce the amount of front camber as well. I think that is too much. I'm going to go minus 3.4 on the front. But I'm maybe going to add a bit to the rear. Oh, the gears. I keep forgetting the gears. No, can't do anything to them. They're just kind of fixed ratios at this end. I mean, I can shorten fourth, and shorten fifth, and lengthen sixth. Which seems a bit more reasonable, to be honest. Try that.
Its exit is clear. Don't cross the line.
Don't forget the DRS in the middle sector. Let's go again. Hit the brake bias back. Oh, that was bad. Came off the brakes too soon and then... Oh, that was so stupid. Oh my god.
Tiny bit of aero damage there. You probably won't even feel it.
See, now I'm just driving badly.
Your exit's clear. Don't cross the white line.
You notice how the evening's gone on? I've become way less talkative. This is called concentration right here. And also minor frustration. hate that corner. I hate it so much. Right, let's try for a lap. Don't come off the brakes too soon. Get that downshift. Get the car rotated. Bad. All kinds of bad. Have I lost the ability to drive? Is that what's happened? I feel like I've lost the ability to drive. At high speed, it feels so nice. High speed, it feels nice. I could maybe go for like a click of rear wing at a high speed. But at low speed, it's awful. One thing that I do want to check. What is my top speed? My top speed is 274 kilometers an hour. What were they doing in real life? Because that's a question I haven't thought of. Formula 3. 3 results is what I want. Results from Zandvoort. And I want the results from qualifying. 181. They're going faster. Right, Zandvoort. DRS. F1 are using the extended DRS zone. F3 were not. I am correct. I'm using the correct DRS, which means that in real life the F3 drivers were using less downforce than I am. I've got the car on like maximum downforce mode. But if they were going, what is that? 7 kph quicker than me in a straight line, they're using less rear wing than I am. Which means they must be using less front, because there's absolutely no way that I could reduce the rear without reducing the front. Because at the moment the aero balance is far enough forwards, I do not want to mess with that any further. So, do I want to try that? Where am I going to gain? I'm going to gain all the way down the straight. I'm going to gain all the way up the hill. I'm going to lose turn 7. I'm going to lose turn 8. I'm going to lose a little bit on like turn 1. It might be worth trying. It might be worth trying. So at the moment I'm on 28 and 16. If I take that down to like 10 and 10 and 20 ish. 28 and 16, 10 and 20. Yeah. See what that feels like. Is it understeer city? Is it too much top speed? We'll give it a go. Why not? How long have I been streaming? What time is it? Streaming an hour and a half. This is what happens when I get into playing Assetto Corsa. I can't help myself. end up spending an absurd amount of time driving. I think the answer to the question that I posed at the start of the stream, can I beat the Formula 3 pole time? I believe the answer is no. I believe the answer is no. Now, excuses. It's a mod track, it's a mod car. I don't know what the differences are. I don't know whether the track is longer. I don't know whether the car is slower. I think the car is actually faster, or pretty close, at least. So it's not that.
Your exit is clear.
Driverability, certainly. The fact that I started with a weird setup, perhaps. But, you know, let's experiment. Still doing that. See what the balance is like through here. Okay. Yeah. Too much front for that amount of rear. We need to take some front wing off. Let's take this down to like 16 and 10. 16 and 10 should be better. This seems too little downforce to me. But...
The pit exit is clear. Push now.
And I crashed. Ugh. Yeah. I'm not going to keep driving for too much longer because clearly I am only getting worse.
Pit exit is clear.
That bomb.
Okay, Joe, you're locking up your fronts a lot.
That's my other excuse, is that bump. And the tyre temperatures just explode in this car. So I have quite a long list of excuses, is what I'm saying. So don't bully me too much for being slow. Do I just need a lot more rear wing? The car does not want to stick to the road, does it? I was using 16 before. Surely 12 is fine.
Pit exit's clear. Don't cross the white line.
Surely it's fine. See what this is like coming up the hill. I mean, my apex speed is definitely slower. Don't get me wrong, but what is my top speed down the straight going to be like? Okay. Yeah, so the DRS zone that I have on the server is clearly the extended DRS zone, when in actual fact it's that shorter one that Formula 3 were using. Okay, that was more appropriate top speed. I saw 279, which is more appropriate to what they were doing in real life. But now the problem is the car just feels superb. horrible. Just awful is the word. I'm going to increase the rear suspension travel even further. Even further.
That's 20 minutes to go.
And I'm going to leave it like that. Then let's just see. Let's see what happens.
Your exit looks clear.
Ooh,
Stay behind the line.
I sped in the pit lane. I've got a drive-through penalty. Audio's disappearing again. Right. Understeer. Other than that, though, it felt okay. It felt relatively okay. I need to do a drive-through. I can't even turn around. I'm on the banking. This is the problem. If I don't do this drive-through, then this penalty is going to sit there on my screen for ages, so I need to actually go and drive through the bits. The actual...
What's your speed limit in the pits?
Cool. Doing my drive-through.
Pit exit's clear.
Right. Did my drive-through. Let's go back. Venue set tyres.
Your tyres are cold, watch out.
Go out again! Hit limiter. Hit
Pit
limiter.
exit's
Right.
clear.
Don't want to do that again.
Tyre temps are good.
Yeah, the bumps around here are the thing that is really upsetting the car. One thing about the RSS F3 car is that it's just incredibly sensitive.
All right, Joe, you've got 10 minutes
to
of fuel
bumps.
remaining.
Always has been. It's very stiff. Very easy to under-rotate a tyre. So you're hearing that screeching. My tyres aren't locking. You'd see them if they were locking. When the actual damage thing pops up, that means they're locking. But the reason that it did it there, even though you couldn't see it locking, was just because the tyre left the ground. Kind of implies to me that maybe the rear ARB is a bit too soft, but whatever. Yeah, felt really slow through there with the less downforce. I mean, it's definitely quick down the straight, don't get me wrong, but... Fifth gear is definitely the way to go through that corner.
15 minutes left, that's 15 minutes.
Big lock, missed the apex. Slow on the way out. Ruins the entrance to the next corner. Missed the DRS. Oh, it's all going wrong.
We estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining. Sector 2 is 0.4, slower than your best.
There's no way that I'm going to make up all that time just on the straight. It just is not possible. So let's see what it is. It is a 126.4.
126.4. Sector 3 time is quick.
What if I do a better lap though? That wasn't too bad.
Sector 1 is a 10th off your best.
Blow through there, understeer on the exit. Up through there. Yeah, it feels like understeer now. It feels like understeer. Aero balance is okay.
25.9. You're less than a 10th off your best.
Yeah, see, I can do a 25.9. I can't go faster than a 25.9. It's so infuriating. Less downforce must be the way to go, though. I think the rear ARB is too slack. Getting the slow speed understeer. And also that front wheel is coming off the ground, which kind of implies that the bar balance is wrong. So we're going to try that. We're going to try a stiffer rear ARB.
Exit's clear. Push.
See what happens now. Question is the car now going to be way too oversteering? Yes. Yes, it is. But now it's oversteering at high speed, so I'm going to need to adjust the aero balance. Aerodynamics. Take that down to like 14 on the front. See how that works.
Pit exit looks clear.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the road.
10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes.
Wow. Lot of oversteer. And this is going to be too oversteery now. Yeah. It's immediately very sketchy. To kill me in there.
Watch the track limits, please, Joe.
Okay, I think
You've got a tiny bit of bodywork damage there, just ignore it.
I'm gonna go back up to that, and I'm gonna go down to that. Was it? Yeah, it was. Definitely that. I was up at 88, which seems like a lot. 69,000 Newton meters. And yeah, I don't know. Only one way to find out.
All clear. Push now.
The bumps. The bells. Wow. So, wow is the answer. That bar adjustment makes so much difference. It's crazy. Like, I don't feel like it should make that much difference, but maybe I just need to reduce the front bar instead. Instead of increasing the rear, because the changing the rear there, it
Exit is clear.
really made the car oversteery. I mean, I'm sure you could see when I was turning into those corners, the car just did not want to follow the front. Maybe that's the issue. I think this might be my last run here, guys. Just because I'm not really making any progress. I'm a bit stumped, to be honest. Just in terms of how to get the car in a window that feels comfortable. Yeah, that softer bar is so much better. And the softer front, it's okay, but I'm still struggling to get on that loud pedal. Still having to wait. Which is exactly what you would think of a car with soft suspension, right? Is that the car would turn in, but then on exit you get quite a lot of understeer. So it makes sense, but
That's 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes. Sector 1 is a tenth off your best.
Those tyres are so overheated. That's the thing. That's the thing that is painful, is the tyres just feel like they're melted at all times.
Okay, Joe. 5 minutes of fuel remaining. 5 minutes.
Wonder what would happen if I put a set of mediums on. Or a set of hards. Kind of want to try that now. I'm still so far off.
Sector 3 times okay.
Still very, very, very far off. What happens if I swap the tyres out for a set of nice mediums? I have rain tyres. Yeah, I'm not going to use those. Mediums, though, maybe.
You're all clear. Stay behind the line.
And the surface is still getting really hot. Feel like I have more grip. Mediums feel better. They do heat up really quickly. Pressures are all okay. Temperatures are too hot, but they're not ridiculous.
Just 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to go.
That was the problem.
Sector 1 time is good.
Can't use second there. Second is too far away. The mediums feel faster though. The mediums are a faster tyre. What about the hards? Are the hards going to be a step too hard?
All clear on pit exit.
Hot lapping on hard tyres. This seems incorrect. See, this is how long it's been since I've properly driven this car, as I don't even know which tyres to use. I mean, I used to drive in slightly colder temperatures, but not ridiculously colder. What am I doing? Trying to be gentle. So you can see those
end of the session.
Hard tyres are in the correct temperature window. After a single outlet. Right. We've got another session. I know I said I was going to end the stream, but now I'm interested by those hard tyres. I want to see what happens. The mediums were a little bit quicker. I don't know whether the hards are going to be even quicker. Might be that the mediums are the tie to be on. I might have sussed this out already. I spent all that time on the softs. It was wasted. Wasted time. Time are we on? 7 o'clock. Using a phone with gloves on, very difficult to do. So these gloves I use a Fuel glove F33L. Those are the gloves. Jimmy Broadbent had a link in his description. I was like, they seem alright, so I ordered some. They're great. I have used them for a long time. They're kind of a bit beaten up now. I don't know whether you can see on the camera at all. Probably not. They're quite beaten up. But especially they have these little index finger and thumb pads for using mobile phones, but they're totally gone. Like I've got a little bit on the edge, but for me they're totally gone. So, you know, right. Couple more laps. Couple more laps.
Exit's clear. Push.
Hard tyres start out very cold, but to be honest, that's a good thing. Third gear is the gear I want to be in right there. Here I definitely want to be in second. Go. Bad through turn 1. Bad through there. Tyres are hot. Turning too much there. I mean, the car feels much more stable on these tyres, I will say that.
That last lap was a
And
124.8. Sector 3 time is fast.
We gained a second of lap time. I just gained 1 second. Going from the softs to the hards, I gained a whole second of lap time. And all of a sudden I'm in the 124s. I now need to find half a second. There's the lap time right there. 124.821. And all of a sudden we're back in the game. Hard tyres it is, I guess. Shall I just go back and send it? See if I can improve? Let's just send it. Setup feels reasonable.
Pit exit looks clear.
Let's just try our best and not screw it up, basically. I mean, the soft tyres, like, by this point, would already be bright red all the way through to the carcass. I mean, you can see here that I'm getting red surface temperatures. But they're not. They are not immediately overheating all the way through, which is nice. Here we go. Oh my god, why am I so bad sometimes? Oh my... Okay. I promise, one more run. If this doesn't work, then I'm done.
The pit exit looks clear.
This is my final attempt. I know that I'm not going to be able to beat the pole time. I spent too much time messing around on the soft tyres that were massively overheated before I discovered that the mediums and the hards were quicker. I admittedly could try the medium tyres. Maybe they would be better. Cautious outlap maybe. Still don't want to downshift through there. Fifth is still the gear to be in. Yeah, still want to be in third through there. I can be in second through there though. Third through the right, second through the left. Okay. That's fine for now. And DRS. Let's see what happens. Still not great through turn one. Wasn't great through turn 3 either. There's more speed to be carried through there.
has 5 minutes of fuel left.
Got way more time in there as well.
Your sector 2 time is quick.
Okay, that felt decent, but like there's a load more time in it just in me being a better driver.
That was a 124.5. Good lap. That's your quickest so far.
Ah. 124.46. It's not uploading to live timings, don't know why. But 124.462. A 124.462. I'm 1/10 off pole. Oh. But I'm leaving it there. 124.462. That would put me less than a 10th off pole. Where would that put me on the grid? Should we find out? Let's find out where that would put me on the grid. Formula 3. Results. Zandvoort. The qualifying results. 124. What was it? 124 point. 124 point what? Oh, I'm an idiot. 124.462. That would put me second. So I'm faster than P2. I didn't quite get pole. I could get pole if I tried a little harder. And that's on the hard tyres. Because apparently the hard tyres are the tyres to be on. The day we learned. Well, all I can say is, if anybody has been watching, thank you very much for watching. Ugh. Oh, look at my bald head. Yeah, if you have been watching, thank you. If you did enjoy, fantastic. I hope to see you again at some point. Eventually. So yeah. Goodbye.